Hey, what's going on, guys? Beefline here with a brand new video today. Today we're going to be talking about the ranking and also the good and bad of the brand new DLC, Mercenary Day, how Rush saved Mercenary Day. Now, I'm making this video because I've seen a few other creators have the idea to do so, and I wanted to make my own version of it because I think that more critiques and more opinions definitely have a place and matter. Besides, a lot of people that watch and follow me seem to be skipping out on this DLC, and so that those folks can see just exactly what they are missing out on and my personal ranking and everything. Remember, everything is subjective in the end, but this is just what I got from it. Now, I played about 5 hours of it because I was farming for a very specific legendary in the end. However, the timing of the DLC is about half an hour to 45 minutes long on average. I'm going to go ahead and start with the good after dropping that time frame. Then we're going to go with the bad, and then I'll drop my final ranking at the end and see what you guys think to see if it aligns. So first off, in my good category, it having a new area is actually nice. It already puts itself above the Halloween event, if you even want to call it an event. A new area just gives us a little bit, something new to explore and go to. The Halloween event did not provide that, so I'm putting that in the good category. I'm also going to be putting the story in the category. I think that in the good category because I think that the story was somewhat decent. There was a few Mercenary Day, snow references, things like that. And to tie in with it, Claptrap carols were actually kind of fun because there was some jokes to be made about that. And I just think it was a pretty overall decent time with it. So I have nothing bad to say about that. So let's go in the good category. I'm also going to be putting the legendaries in this category as well because the legendaries are actually somewhat decent. If you use the pistol properly, like the Devil's Foursome, and you have decent aim with it, or if you get torque stickies with it, it's not too bad. If you use the assault rifle, which I'm going to be talking a little bit more in the end, I think that thing is absolutely insane and bonkers if you know what you're doing with it. And also the rep kit isn't too bad either. You can definitely have some utilization on it on certain builds, which I plan to use in the future. Now, this doesn't really go for the DLC, but it did launch on the DLC, so I'm just going to be mentioning it as well. My honorable mention goes to the patch being pretty solid. Some good bug fixes were done, and some buffs were done that were definitely needed, especially like character weighting and also a buff for the get throwing ordnance for grenade damage, or ordnance damage, I should say, from 10 to 35% is absolutely insane. So I'm just going to throw that in there as my honorable mentions. For the bad category, there's no new enemies, and it's kind of a reskin of everything that we've seen already. No new enemies, but having a new area just seems kind of odd to me. They are just enemies that we have fought before, and it gets kind of plain and boring. Whereas like Headhunters or other content of this at least gave us new enemy variety, and I think that's what we were really lacking. The size of this DLC, for what would be the expected and likely cost. I know it came out for free, but the likely cost for it is probably on average about $10, let's say, just for argument's sake, about $10. The size for it is definitely lacking for that, and that's definitely going in my bad category. Headhunters back in the day were $3, and the size and the replayability were off the charts, except for Water Gobbler. Water Gobbler kind of sucked, but yeah, $10 to $3 of being less than definitely a bad category for me. This might be a little bit of a spoiler, but if you are not caring for spoilers, you're watching this video, then we're just going to go right into spoilers. The boss has a black hole attack that is a lot worse than the black hole for the modifiers. If you know the modifier for the black hole and you absolutely hated it, well, the boss has an attack that does a black hole that you can't escape from. Normally, you would just jump and dash out of the black hole modifier, but you can't do that in this giant black hole boss. So they took a modifier, they made it worse, and it's an attack for this boss. Definitely a bad category. And finally, some story bits felt out of place. The minister calls Timekeeper Daddy. which that just kind of came out of the blue. I there was no lead up to that at all. It just kind of happened, and it was kind of confusing. And also, speaking of dads, Rush and the player character have some mentionables on their dads. We get to see Rush's dad in a photo, and also the minister calls out Vex's, at least Vex character's dad, out in the end, and it just seems kind of out of place to have like that kind of lore drop, but no follow up with it. All right, and I think that's my good and bad categories out of the way. An honorable mention is the music. It was just kind of neither here nor there. It's just kind of tuned out, more or less. Um, if you remember in the Halloween event for Borderlands 3, Captain Hunt remains, to me at least, an absolutely iconic soundtrack, and we just don't have any iconic soundtracks in Borderlands 4 as of right now. And I think we really need that, especially like the Valkyries and Malawan Takedown. Holy shit, that stuff is really really good, and I think we're missing that for sure in Borderlands 4. Just thought I would throw that in there. And finally, my ranking overall, I think if the Rowdy Rider, the Assault Rifle Legendary, does what I think it does, to put it in an upper tier and category, I would give this DLC a 4 out of 10. Know that there is some good things that I mentioned, but there's a lot more overwhelming bad categories, and it's just not really a strong or standout piece of content. It's better than PLCs, absolutely. It's below the mark of Headhunters, and with the expected cost of more than a Headhunter. So I think we need to have a little bit more of a step up. This was definitely a step up more than the free Halloween event, absolutely. But at the same point in time, I think it's necessary to say that this DLC ended up becoming free because of either A, negative backlash over the Halloween event, or B, because they knew it was going to be smaller and they knew that if they charged for it, it was going to be absolutely called out and torn to shreds. Don't think that's a good thing, and you can't really hide behind that barrier. I'm sorry. So 4 out of 10 for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, if you agree with my points, if you disagree with my points, if you think this is a 10, if you think this is a 1. Let me know. I'm curious what you think. I'll see you guys in the next video. My name is B Flattened, and I'm signing on out of here. Take care, all. Laters.